Greetings, Judah. DFG Gideon's Flight. Hey guys, I just want to take a couple of moments. I guess more or less a public service announcement, but nothing new. Things that we have talked about, I've shared, before on this channel. Many other of our brothers and sisters near and far have also shared, some of the same commentary that I'm about to bring forward. First and foremost, I want to give a quick little comment on this whole thing in terms of now Kyrieirving. Kyrieirving, was now speaking the truth that we all understood. Many of us understood years ago. And it's real interesting now that all of a sudden everybody is, in their feelings sort of speak about it. They're all in a disarray. Not only whites, but the so-called blacks are just as bad as the whites. And what's even more interesting, they're all about to be made a fool of. And what I mean by that, they're all going to look like a bunch of stupid idiots. Because we have been saying for a long time, we are the people of the book. If you follow this channel, you know absolutely you've heard me say it time and time and time again. Only to have naysayers out there, dismissing what we're saying and pretty much just telling us, no, the book is for everybody, and it's all about love and, whatever the hell they spoke about. But now you got two men. First you had Kanye call out the 12 tribes, and that it was our people. Then you have Kyrie, in his own little way, saying the exact same thing. Between those two guys, I think Kanye has somewhere about 30 million followers on his Twitter, and Kyrie has somewhere about 22 million. So you're talking about in excess of 50 million followers who are hearing this truth. That's more than the population of our people in America, by the way. They're not 50 million, so-called black people in America. That almost includes blacks and Hispanics, because you put those two numbers together, you're probably talking about 65 million. And not only have our people heard the truth, all the strangers, those who are not followers of these guys, who just turn on the news or different programs, and now they're hearing that information secondhand, thirdhand. And some might say, well, that's okay, so what's the big deal? It's a big, big, big deal, brothers and sisters. When we find out who we are, that means they're going to have to deal with who they have been. It means that the end is coming. That's what it means. It means that when Yah people find out who they are and the truth, that means, guess what? Yah is coming back to his people, and Yah is going to deal with them. Go back and read Ezra 6 and 9. Israel Esau is the end of this world, and Israel, Jacob, is the beginning of the new world which is to come. But Jacob could never do anything. Israel as a nation could never do anything when we had no idea who the hell we were. And by the grace and the love and the mercy of Yahuwah, who always promised that in the end, knowledge would be increased. Now we know. But let me say something to you, brothers and sisters, to my brothers and sisters. Knowing is not enough. You can't just say, oh, wow, I'm an Israelite, la-la-da-di-da. Do you also understand, or what you want to know, and you should understand, that being an Israelite, whether you knew it or not, was one of the main reasons why we have been getting our asses kicked in every form and fashion. We have been under judgment for hundreds of years, if not thousands, because we are the Israelites. And not only that, we weren't judged because we were the Israelites, we were judged because we were Israelites in ignorance and in rebellion. What is rebellion? Not keeping the law, statutes, and the commandments. And whenever someone would to bring it to us, we either conflate it by saying everybody is a part of it, or deflate it by saying, race don't matter. Yet all through our book, Israel, 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 Israel. They call it race. Race is a construct of white folks. So let me be careful with that. Ethnicity matters. Who you are does matter. No, race doesn't matter. But who you are as a nation of people, who we are as a nation of people, that matters more than anything on this flat earth. And that's what the book says. Israel is the apple of Elohim's eye. That means most precious to Elohim. But it also means we aim at Elohim like no other nation can when we go after the gods of this world. Their customs, their traditions, their feast days, their holidays, their religions, their practices, their dietary laws, which they have none. And unfortunately, Israel have none either. That's why they don't get sick eating off a filthy pig, and we do. And beyond. So in all of the celebration that some are celebrating, that I told you we were the people, I told you we're the people, I told you. Hey, look, I am happy that our people are starting to wake up, because it tells me this thing is about to end. What is this thing? This world is coming to an end. That does give me a certain amount of satisfaction. But also I recognize in the fact that knowledge has increased, that means judgment is going to even intensify. On this earth, to everyone on this earth is going to feel the pain. Especially Israel. The 2/3 are going to be destroyed. 2/3 of our people are going to be destroyed because they're going to hear these messages and they're not going to change anything that they're currently doing right now. Let me say that again. 2/3 of our people are going to hear this message and they're not going to change anything that they're currently doing right now. So that means if a sister is wearing pants, I don't care, even though Deuteronomy 22:5 says that she is going to go to hell for wearing them pants, she ain't going to stop wearing her pants. That's why he said 2/3 are going to be destroyed. Even though she can go right over there and read that for herself, she'll rather blame us, get emotionally towards us, hateful, bitter towards us, get into her rebellion, and just say, I ain't doing it. I don't have to do it. I'm going to wait for Yahuwah to tell me to do it. And if that rule applied, if it was that simple, then you can say the same thing about the entire Torah, sister. You can look at the whole Torah and say, well, I'm going to pick and choose what I want to do. In essence, you have relegated the Torah, Yah's word, to just some words on a piece of paper that have no impact or punch. In other words, you just said that Elohim isn't Elohim. Or at best, he's indecisive or a liar or a chauvinist. This word is here for your edification, for your direction, and for our safety. Yours and ours as a people. So while we celebrate, the coming out of who the 12 tribes actually are, we need at least not forget that there is punishment coming along with this information, this knowledge. Look how they're treating those guys. Look how they they want to say that Ye thing was all about, white life matters, and Ye thing was all about DECCON. No, Ye thing was about them abortion clinics, and Ye thing was about the fact that he announced that, we were the 12 tribes. What is Kyrie? It ain't about the fact that, he said the earth was flat, which he did, and he knows that's true, but, for the sake of the league, he had to back down off of it. He didn't change his mind. He just backed off the comment. But look how they're treating him when he talked about from Hebrew to Negro. They about lost their minds. And all he did was post the dog game. He didn't promote it like he said. He didn't go on some tour promoting, that work. That brother who created the book and the documentary, he's the one promoting that. And by the way, I'm sure he's happy today. Because if nobody knew about his book and movie that he knows, everybody knows now. I'm pretty sure, I'm sure he's looking at them numbers over there. And y'all bless him because a workman is worthy of his meat. If you're putting the work in, you should be blessed for the work that you do for Elohim. But it's got to be real educational truth, not lies, like you get it in these churches and religion. Preaching doctrines of devils for the sake of money. But if he's teaching the truth, or he brought out a real honest, sincere word and tied it into who we are as a people, I'm happy for that brother. I hope he has so much money he can't spend it all. And before I would say 3 lifetimes, but he'd be lucky to get a good couple of buys in this one. And it's all falling apart, and it's all coming apart. It's all being exposed because Yah is fulfilling his word at the end. Go back and take a look at, what we talked about the other day about the diesel. Sister Hammond sent a link out earlier today. And you go in there and read, and some of you, were hearing that the diesel fuel is running low. And they were asking, Karine Pierre, John Pierre, whatever her name is, the White House spokesperson, press secretary. They were asking, a couple of Kamala, hee-haw, jackass, about it. And all of them were deflating it. They didn't want to talk about it. They wanted to change the subject. Like Nancy Pelosi said, let's just change the subject to something else. We don't need to talk about that. We don't need to talk about inflation. Let's talk about somebody. Oh, England got worse inflation than us. Then why we talk? So we don't need to talk about it. Since they're a shit country now. Isn't that what Donald Trump said about Africa? I'm just asking for a friend, as they say. But they don't want to deal with this truth. But this diesel is running out. And brothers and sisters, diesel fluid is the supply chain. Let me say it to you again. That diesel fluid is the supply chain. Because all of the supplies that most people need for survival are ran off for systems and manufacturing equipment, transportation equipment, production equipment that require diesel fuel. And of course, you can never believe the media for telling you the exact truth, but this is how they worded it. Now, the other day, we were told that they're going to run out. They're going to be out in 25 days. But this is how you would read it in the media today. The diesel levels are at the lowest they've ever been since 1951. 1951. So you're talking about an almost 70-some-odd years, 73 years, give or take. The reserves have never been that low. That's the lowest they've been since that time. And now you might say to yourself, well, okay, what's the big deal with that? Well, think about production, population, construction, all of the infrastructure that's here today that wasn't here 70 years ago. All the skyscrapers, all the food markets, produce markets, the population in the country. Because I can assure you, in 1951, the population in America wasn't what it is today. All the foreigners that have come into the country, all the businesses that do business in the country, the shipping that goes on in the country. We talked about the Mississippi River. The river, the article said the Mississippi River was like a multi-lane highway, which it really is. The river is just another highway. It's a water highway. And now they say it's a 2-lane highway because what? The river is drying up. Now, that may not mean a lot to some of you guys, but understand your freight, your supply, those cargo ships. I said cargo. I don't know. Those cargo ships come up that river. And if that river is too small for those cargo ships to come up that river, all the Midwest of the United States and West are going to suffer. And again, Northeast New England, diesel is that is the hub for diesel operating, dependency. The Northeast, New York, New England, all that area up there, the Northeast. Now, all this stuff is coming together at the same time. Our people are being identified as the true people of the book. And now there's a state of panic going on. Now they're trying to shut these guys down, trying to shut us down, calling us names, striking chat. They're doing everything in their power to try to stop it. But guess what, brothers and sisters? They can't. There's nothing they can do to stop it. While they're spending their time over there stopping it, please take your eyes off of them trying to stop things and put your eyes on yourself and your families and be preparing things. Because winter is coming. And winter is not going to spare you because you're an Israelite, sister, brother. Let me make that clear. Winter is not going to miss you because you're in the faith or you know who you are. It's not going to spare you because you sat in on a Bible study. There are people who sat in on the studies, and I'll be honest with you, they must have had their televisions on because at least a few that, one or two. I mean, I don't want to say this the wrong way. Let's say it the right. Let me clean that up. It's one thing to sit in a classroom where teaching is getting done, something that's very important to your survival. But if you're in that classroom and you're not paying attention to what's happening in that classroom, see when it's time to be tested for what you were supposed to have learned in that classroom, you're going to fail. So not only, should we be gathering ourselves together and learning together through the studies, through the videos, through fellowship, but we need to put that knowledge into practice. And so if you're sitting there and you're hearing it, but you're not doing anything about it, i.e. back to the pants, then what does that say about your learning skill set? What does that say about your ability to comprehend and execute? And I'll say this to any of you brothers out here. Sisters, you too. But, the same people who are inconsistent in their behaviors right now, when it gets so bad that they got to come to some of us for help, talking about for protection, for food, because your money ain't going to do you no good then. Because there ain't going to be nothing to go out and buy if you ain't already bought it. You're going to have to not let them people in. Because that same inconsistency that's in their behavior now, where they say yes, but they do nothing, if you let them in your homes, they're going to demonstrate that right in your homes. And what you're going to have inside of your house, you're going to have an uprising in your house. Because your heart was so big, well, I don't want to turn down my son. I don't want to turn down my mom. I don't want to turn down my brother, my sister, my cousin, my boy. We grew up together. Well, I'm going to tell you something. The same behavior they're practicing right now, under no pressure, what do you think is going to happen if you let them in your home, your safe place, your secure place, under severe pressure? You think they're going to cooperate with you? You think if you give them direction, they're going to do it, execute it, without questioning that direction? You think you're going to be able to close your eyes on them when you can look in their eyes and see that they hate you because of something you said or because you told them no? That's why the communities are so important. That's why we need to carefully evaluate all of those who profess to be in the faith. We got to watch and look at them. You know what I'm saying? And pay attention to what they're doing when they get off the phone call, when they turn off the video, when they go out the door, when they come back in the door. What are they doing? What are the signs that they are showing that they believe it as much as you do? Because if there's no evidence, there's no commitment. I'm just telling you. And where there's no commitment, there is no trust. And where there is no trust, there's division. And where there's division, there's destruction. Don't forget that. So yeah, it's good to know who we are. But in that knowledge comes consequences, brothers and sisters. Don't forget about what Psalms 83 said. They conspired against us to what? To make us a nation no more. All the other nations, all the other peoples got together, as you see them doing right now with Kyrie, and you saw them do it with Kanye. conflated T-shirts like somebody give a damn about a T-shirt, conflated what he said about George Floyd, which, whatever that was, is what it was. We see nothing good's come from that anyway. Or what, a Black Lives Matters organization that turned out to be, lesbian driven and fun misuse, embezzlers of resources, thieves and crooks, hustlers. Nothing good's come from that. So who gives a crap about what he's talking about with that? We don't need to make, heroes out of, devils. And again, his statement, it relates to, how he was going to expose the executives who are manipulating, all of the, the artists and the athletes, etc. Well, that wasn't a lie. His wording was stupid. But, the messaging was stupid, but the intent, is to be commended. In other words, exposing them. But all that does, and as you can see what it has done to them, it gets the fangs. Now you can see that saliva coming down their fangs now. Now that wolf is starting to come out of the sheep's clothing. And there are wolves all around Israel, all around our people. So the more it becomes obvious who we are, the less cautious they're going to be towards harming us. The less cautious they're going to be. I mean, they weren't exercising a lot of caution when we were in our blindness, when we were in our ignorance. Blindness in part had happened to Israel. But now that our eyes are open to who we are, brother, they're going to be unmerciful. They're going to be merciless. Sisters, they're going to be merciless. Mark and see. Just remember I told you this. On your jobs, in these markets, on these streets, wherever you are, they're going to be merciless to you. Military law for watch. And that's why we've been saying the book told us to come out from among them. Yah was telling them to come out not because he didn't want us, not only because he didn't want us corrupted, he was saying these people are going to be harmful today. These people are going to be dangerous. To hang or murder or kill one of us, they're going to see that as a badge of honor, like a trophy. That's how they were doing our ancestors in, the early, 20th century and beyond. They're going to take our lives and feel like they've done their God a favor. That's truth. How you going to run from that? Someone that takes your life thinking that's what Yah told them to do. Of course, they don't say Yah, but that's Satan and all them other gods that they work, Jesus included. But they're going to think they're doing something honorable. How you going to escape that? I'm talking about by yourself out here, still, participating in, in the things that they're doing. Running to work paycheck to paycheck, thinking you're accomplishing something. When at some point, you probably just need to pump the brakes, get your resources, you follow me, store up, get with other like-minded groups, store up with them, and just say, you know what, I'm done. Let's farm the land. Let's do whatever we got to do. Let's pitch in. Let's buy something big where we all can live in together. Guard it real. Put gate up, fence up. Get, defense mechanisms together. This is probably where I always end up getting myself, a little hot water, but I think y'all saw that. But always, you know what I'm saying? All those things is what we need to be thinking about right now and nothing else. Buying houses, buying cars, brothers, sisters, I'm telling you, you're not going to live to enjoy it. Okay, I'm negative. Okay, we'll see if I'm negative when the shit hits the fan and all you have is an empty shell or a car that you can't afford to put diesel in or gas. Then let's see how stupid your brother sounds then. Let's see what you have to say about me then. When your children are starving because you didn't get dry goods and store them up. Because when your children get lost because you didn't have an exit strategy for them. An escape plan set up in the house for them what to do if shit hits the fan. No different than when you were in school and they had fire drills. Because you were too busy, believing their lies believing the liars who were calling us liars when all we were doing was giving you the absolute truth as it is written in the book. And you know, and many of you just, you know, you mocked us. You just said, look at them, talking all that crazy talk again. Well, you know, what do you think about what we were saying now? For some of you thought we were mocking years ago. Some of your family and friends say, why are you listening to them? I wonder what they're saying now. And if they're not saying anything now, I can assure you they won't be saying anything in the days, weeks, and months to come. They're going to be as quiet as a church mouse pissing on cotton, as they say. Because you know why? They're going to realize you were right. They're going to realize you were right, sister, for telling them that. They're going to realize it, but it's going to be far too late for them. And if you're not careful and you're not activating and getting things done, you're going to be right out there with them. So don't just listen to these messages, act on them. Do something. Again, make some phone calls, call some people. Hey, what are you guys going to do, DFG, if this happens? DFG, what y'all going to do if that happens? DFG, how can we find you guys? DFG, this is how you can find us. But to sit around here and just think about it and how you say, twiddling your fingers, you're going to get left out in the cold. You're going to be like old Harpo when his little son said, when he fell to the roof, he said, man, it's going to rain on your head. It's going to rain on a lot of our people's head for inactiveness. You know, because you didn't do nothing. You knew the truth, but you didn't do anything. You felt like, oh, I still got time. Well, let me wait and see. In a crisis, you don't, when you're inside of a burning building, you don't sit still and see if the fire is going to get to your area of the building. No, you find an exit place, window, door, whatever, a hallway, stairway, and you get the hell out of there. Tie sheets together and how you say, crawl down the window. But what you don't do is sit there and contemplate. And we have to say this. If I don't tell you this, then I'm incompetent and I'm not worthy to be called a brother, and I'm damn sure not worthy of being called a watchman if I don't tell you this. And I'm both. I'm your brother and I'm a watchman. And my job is to warn the people when danger is coming, like blowing that shofar. Well, my voice is my shofar. Cry aloud, spare not, lift up your voice like a trumpet. That's what your brother is doing here. But we're there. We are there. I'm talking about the end. And you'll see it better than I can tell it to you. Some of us will probably live to tell about it. Many of you won't. Why? Because you would, how you say, Debbie Doubters. Well, I see it. When I believe it, when I see it, then I'll believe it. All right. If you open your eyes, you will see a lot going on right now. That's what yesterday's message was about. The rams and the sheep and the flock. Some eyes were open, then they were shut. Open, shut. Go back and look at it. You'll hear it. But let me end you with a little scripture here. Daniel chapter 12. Here you go. It reads as such. It reads as this. It says this. Hallelujah. And then I, Daniel, looked, and behold, there stood the other two. One of this side of the bank of the river, and the other on the other side of the bank of the river. You can call that Kyrie and Kanye if you wanted to. I don't think that's what it's talking about, but I'm just saying that's a good comparison. One on each side saying the same thing. The river, Mississippi River. We talk about, okay, enough of that, DFG. Again, verse 5, 12 and 5. Daniel chapter 12, verse 5. Then I, Daniel, looked, and behold, there stood other two, one on this side of the bank of the river, and the other on the other side of the bank of the river. And one said to the man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters of the river, how long shall it be before the end of these wonders? It's all this stuff that's happening all over the world. Wars, rumors of the wars, plagues, famine, droughts, you name it. Tornadoes, hurricanes, every kind of thing that's going on right now. He said, how long will it be? How long? To the end of these wonders. until it comes to a conclusion. He goes on to say, verse 7, and I heard the man clothed in linen, which was on the waters of the river, when he held up his right hand and his left hand unto heaven. And he swore by him that liveth forever, that it shall be for a time and a half. And when he shall have accomplished to scatter the power of the holy people, that's us. That means the word has gotten around to everybody. As you just heard me, 52 million people heard it over the last week and a half, between Kanye, K, and Kyrie, K. 2 Israelites. That's the power of Israel. Think about it. 2 men got the whole country upside down about this matter. 2. That's the power of Israel. That sounds like Simeon, and Reuben, when they were under siege, when by the other Gentiles behind their sister, getting revenge for their sister. And those 2 took out a whole city. 2 brothers took out a whole city. 2 brothers got a whole country in an uproar. Amen. Let's stay on here. He said to be able to scatter the power, brothers and sisters, the power of our people. And then these things will be finished. Talking about when they get that word out, it's over with, game over. Then I heard, but I didn't understand. Then I said, oh Lord, Adonai, I'm sorry, what shall be the end of these things? And he said, go your way, Daniel, for the words are closed up and sealed to the end of time. What do you mean by the words? He's talking about the book. That's why we never knew who we were. It was sealed because until the end. It was hidden from us. But he's saying only for a certain time and a half. Then after that, guess what? The word will be opened up to us. Then we would realize who we were. Messengers would come out and start teaching us years ago. And then eventually the people would start to listen. Let's see if I'm right. Verse 8, he said, I understood. Verse 8, I heard. Remember, I tell you, you got to be more than hearers. I heard, but I understood not. Then I said, oh, my Adonai, what shall be the end of these things, the end of this world? And he said, go your way, Daniel, for the words are closed up and sealed till the time of the end. Verse 10, many shall be purified and made white and tried. Tried means you're going to go through some tribulations, brothers and sisters. You're going to get some of us are going to get tortured for this truth. Some of us are going to have to die for this truth. That's what it means, made white, purified, and tried. But it said, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked should understand. So some of you or family members are telling you, I don't agree with this, quit listening to them. Hey, brothers, this is telling you, they don't want to come out of their wickedness, and they don't want you, sister, to come out of your wickedness. Therefore, they're going to tell you that we're the ones that are wicked. When we're the ones in the book, and they're telling you we're wicked, and you ask them, where are y'all finding your information from then? If these brothers and sisters are wicked, and they're giving us the truth from the book, then you're not wicked, then where are you getting your truth from? Where are you reading this from? You know what? They're not going to be able to answer that question, because they're getting theirs from the media, from the politicians, from the preacher who has lied to us for hundreds, if not thousands of years and never told us who we were. The same preachers don't preach against any wickedness in these damn churches. They just tell lies. Prosperity preachers. Good time Jesus preachers. We love everybody, even the sinner preachers, them devils. They have nothing to back up the truth. You have the truth. We have the truth. What's truth? The word is the truth. Praise Yahuwah. But let me get into this thing. He said, but the wise will understand. So if you're understanding this, brother and sister, or you're beginning to understand this, it just means that you are blessed. Stranger, you're included. If you're understanding this and your eyes are starting to be open to this, simply means you're blessed. If you stay the course. In other words, you can't just be a hearer, you have to be a doer. As Daniel said, I heard, but I didn't understand. But now it's time to understand, brothers and sisters. Not just to hear. And from the time of the removal of the daily lifting up and the giving of the abomination of desolation, there shall be 1,290 days. Blessed is he that waits and comes to the 1,305 days. It's going to be a short period of time for this abomination and us holding on beyond that abomination. All these abominations, go back. That's why I'm telling you, sisters. That's why Deuteronomy 22:5 is important. It's an abomination. It's not a judgment against you, sister. We don't hate you. We're not trying to tell you what to wear. We're trying to tell you Yah has a standard. And if you fail to meet his standard, you're an abomination. Brothers, you too. You dress wearers out there, cross dressers out there, Tyler Perry lovers out there. Amen? I'm just saying. And that's not the only abomination. There are many things. Homosexual, come on. Witchcraft, out here celebrating the dead last night, Halloween. All that stuff is abomination. And that's what he told me. It's going to be a short time when all these abominations are approved, and then Yah comes back. That's what I just read you, those days. The abominable days. Verse 13, but go your way till the end, and you shall rest and stand in your lot at the end of the day. Stand in your lot means that you're going to be in a place where you're protected. Amen? That's what it means, standing in your lot, holding your ground. Praise Yah. And I'm going to go you one more thing here, because I kind of got to the end, but let me shift up right here. Look at Daniel chapter 12 and verse... let's go. I'm going to read Daniel 12, 1 through 4, and then we're done. All right? In that day shall Michael stand up, the great prince which stands for the children of our people. And there shall be a time of trouble, as it is today, such as never was since a nation, even to that same time. And at that time your people, our people, shall be delivered, everyone that is found written in the book. Not everybody, only those who are found written in the book. How am I found? How do I know if I'm one who's written in the book? Because I keep the commandments. I'm obedient. So there's a log being kept. Who's checking in and who's checking out. Amen? It goes on to say this. Check this out, brothers and sisters. Verse 2. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth, talking about the dead, shall awake, some to everlasting life, and then some to everlasting damnation. That's what contempt means. Everybody that died before us is not getting in the kingdom. That's the lie that religion told you. Many people who are dead going to wake up and go straight to damnation, the lake of fire, because how they lived while they were here. Don't let that be you. You know, I heard last night Takeoff with the Migos was killed this morning, shooting dice in a bowling alley. And yet our young people still don't get it. I can tell you, Takeoff and wake up in hell. You're going to take off as a rocket straight to the lake of fire. Verse 3. And they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the expanse. That's the firmament. And they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever. That's us. But you, O Daniel, shut up the word and seal the book until the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. That's what's happening right now. That's why the truth is coming out about who the true people of the book are. Because we at the end. I'm going to read it to you again. But you, Daniel, shut up the word, seal the cipher, even to the time of the end. Now we're at the time of the end. And at that time, many shall run to and fro. That's mean people are busybodies. Everybody on the go. And then they say knowledge will be increased. So where you are today, I hope you're thinking in terms of where you want to be tomorrow. Again, where you are today, I hope you are considering and thinking and acting and executing on where you want to be found tomorrow. Are you going to be found in your lot, mean holding your ground, standing for the truth? That's what Daniel was talking about at the end, at judgment. Those who are in their lot, L-O-T. In other words, your space, the space that you're supposed to be in. Will you be found there, or will you be found out there, scattered, still interacting with demons and wickedness and those who reject the truth because they love those lies. They love the convenience of being able to do whatever they want to do, believe whatever the hell they want to believe. Because at the end of the day, it lets them be what they think is psychologically free. Yet our book said, many times, Yah's people perish for a lack of knowledge. Don't let that be you, brothers and sisters. Okay? It's okay? I'm just saying to you, brothers. And don't forget, tomorrow night, we're going to be studying Revelations 18. So, come prepared. May Yah, give us insight beyond all understanding, but we're going to be able to clean up some of the stuff that we're talking about, some of the stuff you're hearing. So tomorrow night, 6 p.m., tomorrow evening, Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. Pacific, I guess that's 4 p.m. Everybody's welcome to join us. All right, brothers and sisters? DFG, make this day count. This day that you're in, make it count for something. Tonight before you go to bed, I want you to look back on today and say, what did I do for the kingdom's sake? What did I do for the kingdom's sake? What did I do for the kingdom's sake today? What did I do for the kingdom's sake today? Hopefully you'll close your eyes and say, I did something. And if Yah comes to visit you tonight, he'll look at you and say, well done, my good and faithful servant. DFG, be ready. For in such a time you think he's not coming, he cometh. Bye now.